Dr. Monik Mehta, let me also draw you in here, Dr. Mehta. Cardiac arrest at such a young age, what do you believe could have led to it? What do you make of Shefali Jariwala's sudden passing away last night?
Yes, it's a very sad moment that we are again talking about this occurrence. Now, premature coronary artery disease is actually becoming a pandemic in our country. Uh, we are seeing in especially in Asia and in our country, at least the incidence is increasing. We are seeing a more aggressive form of this coronary artery disease. And for us, for technically the age is anything less than 40 years is considered as coronary artery disease or heart attacks in the young. Now, we are seeing a more virulent form of this. It's happening much earlier as compared to the Western world, where it is happening much later after 70. So, in fact, out there it is only about 20%. But here we are seeing nearly 50% increase in the incidence of coronary artery disease in young. Secondly, what is happening is the progression is very rapid, and we are seeing increasing mortality. So, this is a very somber moment. My condolences to Shefali's family and her loved ones. But we should reflect at this stage and ponder what are we doing to ourselves and what we can do to society as a whole to stop this scourge. Now, at this stage, I would just like to recap the issues at hand and why is it happening. Firstly, we should not forget our traditional risk factors. The traditional risk factors are becoming increasingly important, and the traditional risk factors they're all known to us. But I still would like to reiterate smoking, which doubles the risk of heart disease by eight times. Diabetes makes it very aggressive. Obesity triples the risk of heart disease, and hypertension. In fact, these diseases generally are undetected in the young. That is another big issue. So, for example, diabetes and hypertension are usually missed out in the young people. So these are the traditional risk factors which we should not forget. In addition, there are these newer risk factors, or what we call as emerging risk factors or societal factors. As Dr. Kakkar has mentioned, stress, anxiety, peer pressures, and societal pressures. Then we have undergone the COVID pandemic, and there have been instances of post-COVID complications which increase this. Then also important is recreational drugs that is increasingly being used, like cocaine and amphetamines. They actually increase the incidence of heart disease. This is because there is vasospasm, and the blockages that when we do the angiography, we find that generally these blockages are single blockages. They are not like in elderly, we'll find a lot of hard blockages. So these are soft blockages. There are soft cholesterol deposits or fat deposits. And whenever there is some stress or anxiety or unaccustomed exertion, these soft blockages, they tend to rupture. And that is why we are seeing this increase in instances of heart disease in young. We should not forget that there are also some diseases which are very common. For example, congenital heart disease or hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. But those are there which are in the background and which have always been there, and they happen all over the world. But in India, this is the scourge that we are facing with, and we should all get together and address it. So that's I would like to say at the outset.
Yes. Also, of course, let me ask you about the post-mortem now. Reportedly, the post-mortem was underway at Cooper Hospital today. I think it's just come to an end now. Now her mortal remains are being taken to her residence as we speak. I think her residence was in Andheri because that's where the hospital was, where she was taken first last night, Bellevue Hospital, where she was declared brought dead by her husband Parag Tyagi, who's also an actor, and his friends. Let me ask you, Dr. Mehta, what is the procedure normally when a patient is brought to hospital in this non-responsive condition, and what happens then next?
So before I go to next, there's a very important thing that I need to speak at this stage. What should be done while the patient is having the arrest, and that is what we call as CPR or cardiopulmonary resuscitation. In fact, the recommendation or the thought process should be that wherever the person is having the arrest, that is the hospital. That is the very place where the CPR should be instituted and started immediately. By the time the patient is brought to the hospital, we have lost the battle. Those few minutes are golden moments. So CPR is one thing which the whole society, we should know, and everybody should. It's not a medical technique, everybody should know. So that is what we could, that is one of the, should be the take-home messages that CPR should be known to everybody. You never know if somebody had done CPR, the chain of events could have been different. Now let's come to sudden deaths in younger people. I would not like to state at this stage what would be the outcome of the postmortem. But generally what we see is in young people, we see solitary
Yes, I'll
blockages.
come back to
The
that, but
blockages-
just tell us about the procedure, because we are seeing these visuals, Dr. Mehta. I think the postmortem has just been conducted. How long does it normally take for a postmortem? What is the procedure? Please tell us. When a patient is brought to hospital and they are declared brought dead.
So the procedure is the patient is brought to the emergency. Once the patient has been declared brought dead, it's generally a medical legal case because we do not know the antecedents. So it's so the intimation is given to the official authorities. From our side, we shift the patient to the mortuary, and thereafter the patient is sent to the and it's basically sent to the police authorities, and then they take over, and then the postmortem is done, and thereafter usually the body is handed over to the relatives.
Right.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.